What if I told you that something you're doing, or rather, not doing, is hurting your career? But don't worry, it's not your fault. And we're gonna get through it together. Based on the data from YouTube, there's about a 90% chance that you live and work in the United States. And I'd be willing to bet you've heard something like this.
Compliance with applicable export controls is not optional, and failure to comply could mean severe penalties. Violations of export control laws and OFAC economic sanctions could result in civil, administrative, or criminal penalties, including monetary fines up to $1 million per violation and imprisonment up to 30 years.
This is false. Or rather, it's not entirely true. And statements like this scare a lot of people into making bad decisions that make them less effective at work and hurt their company's bottom line. But in this video, we're gonna set the record straight. And I'm gonna give you 3 easy things you can do to break the cycle. Make sure you watch until the end though, because I've actually got a bonus 4th tip that almost no one is talking or even thinking about. But first, if this assumption isn't true, why do so many people and companies seem to believe it? Let me start by saying that compliance people really do mean well. And in order to make sure that everyone takes them seriously, they'll often share the worst-case scenario and make it sound much more common than it really is. Have people been sent to jail for violating the U.S. export regs?
Yes!
But that's extremely rare and mainly reserved for repeat offenders who knowingly break the law for personal gain. Will you go to prison for making an honest mistake?
No!
In the 22 years that I've been working in international business, I haven't seen a single person go to court or even get fired for violating the ITAR or the ITAR. And that's while working with multiple Fortune 100 companies. So if you only take away one thing from today's video, remember this. Don't be afraid of exports. You're actually much more likely to be compliant if you learn about it and take it seriously than if you simply run away. So with that said, how does this mentality hurt somebody's career? Or their company's financials? Well, let me ask you. What are the best ways for a company to grow? Go ahead, I'll wait.
A few moments later.
Depending on the type of job you have, you're probably thinking one of 2 things. Either increase sales or decrease cost. Those are the options. And the best way to increase sales is to find new customers or new markets. And cutting costs? Find suppliers and service providers who can give you what you need at the best possible price. If you're only comfortable working within the borders of your own country, you're missing some huge opportunities. The international market provides options for both revenue and savings. Alright, now on to the tips. Most of these are focused on your mindset, so while they may sound simple, you're gonna have to remind yourself until they become second nature. But don't worry, I'm here to help. Number 1. I want you to spend some time every day thinking of ways that you can expand your role beyond the US. Are you in sales? Start marketing your products in new countries. Or maybe you're on the technical side, like an engineer or software architect. In that case, are there any design or development houses you could team with overseas? But while this brainstorming exercise is helpful, before you actually do anything, make sure you follow this next step. 2. Get to know your company's trade compliance team. I'm serious when I say that they do mean well and want to help you succeed. They can point out the most important aspects of exporting in your industry. And by the way, if you do number 3, I guarantee that you'll get all the help you ever need from them. And maybe even a bit of preferential treatment. So what is number 3? Well, short, it's actually the most important. Take ownership. What I mean is take personal responsibility for your international business activities. See, when most people reach out to trade compliance, they want something.
You want the unpublished manuscript?
Well, we know everyone in publishing. It shouldn't be a problem, should it? And you can do anything, right?
Well, normally, the requests are about getting licenses, sending documents, approving travel, or 1,000 other scenarios. But in reality, the compliance person doesn't actually need to send anything. Their job is to make sure that whatever is exported is sent in compliance with the regs. So if nothing gets exported at all, they've done their job. I'm joking, of course, but the point I'm trying to make is this. You're the one who stands to gain the most from good international business. To use the examples I gave earlier, the salesperson exceeds their goals by opening up a new market. And the development team may get a better product designed in less time. In some companies, this might mean a bigger bonus. In others, it might put you at the front of the line for the next promotion. But in any case, take that personal accountability and your career will flourish. Now, I know that these suggestions are pretty high level. But I think they're the best way to help break out of the reluctance, or fear, that keeps a lot of folks from going international. But to let you in on a little secret, I'm actually planning a series of deep dive videos to help people with different roles understand how they can be successful at international business. If this sounds like it might be helpful to you, would you please consider subscribing? And if there's a particular job, role, or industry that you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments. I'm taking requests. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the bonus tip that I promised. So here goes. I want you to start thinking of ways to recruit new members to your team from different country backgrounds. This one is probably easiest for folks in HR. Lots of companies talk about diversity, but not many apply it to someone's country of origin. And that's an area, in my personal experience, where you can get a lot of new and different perspectives that will make your team much stronger. Just in case you're worried, both the ITAR and ITAR have something called a Foreign Person Employee License. This allows a person from outside the US to work with export-controlled technologies. And as a good example, SpaceX and even Elon Musk himself are learning about this the hard way. If you're curious of how to avoid the trap that they're currently in, please take a look at the video I've linked over here. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of today's video. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Whatever time it is where you are. But remember, if you ever have a question, go ask David.